ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another YouTube video where we're going to talk about programming. On today's video, we're going to talk about Java, and in Java, we're going to share an example, and we're going to explain that example. So I hope you enjoyed the video. My name is John Sebastian, and with my friend
Andre Felipe.
we're going to share us what is Java. Thank you.
This is the problem we are going to solve. A construction company wants to calculate the total cost of a painting circular wall. To do this, the client must enter the radius of the wall, the price per square meter of paint, and the number of available workers, and the total working hours for the project. The system must calculate the area of the wall using Matpl and Matplow. Calculate the total painting cost area multiplied by price per square meter. Using a simpler rule of 3, calculate the hours per worker. If the total hours correspond to one worker, how many hours does each one work with the n workers? And display the area, the total cost, and the hours per worker.
We're going to use Online GDB. Online GDB is a website where you can run every type of language. In this case, we're going to use Java. We're going to use Java because this is the language we're going to use to solve this problem. So now that we know what is Java, we are going to solve the problem. Here is the code. First of all, something important to show or to know is these things. These things are called the toolbar of the development environment, where we can run the back stop and manage our Java program quickly. For example, this class is called main Java, and here we are creating a new one that is consola IO. This is the class. This is something really different, and we're not going to talk about it in today's video. But if you want this code, it will be on the description of the video. So let's hop into the action. Right now, we're going to solve the problem. Here we created new consola. Consola is here, so this class help us to, um, print, help us to read, and help us to make the code even easier than it should be. Oh, sorry. And here, okay, here we start creating a new class. Call it constructora. Constructora is going to be this one. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about it later on.
Well, I am going to explain a Java program designed to calculate the total cost of a painting a circular wall. This program requires 4 inputs from the user: the radius of the wall, the price per square meter of paint, the number of available workers, and the total number of working hours for the project. First, the program calculates the area of the circular wall. To do this, it uses a mathematical formula for the area of a circle, which is p multiplied by the radius squared. In Java, this is implemented using Matpl and Matplow radius radius square. Next, the program calculates the total cost of a painting. This is done by multiplying the area of the wall by the price per square meter, like this. This step allows us to determine how much money will be needed for the paint based on the size of the surface. After that the program calculates the number of hours each worker will need to work using a simple proportion. If the total number of hours corresponds to one work, we decide that value by the number of workers to find how many hours each person will work. And finally, the program displays the results, including the area of the wall, the total cost of the painting, and the number of hours per worker. This program is a practical example of how programming can be used to solve real-world problems by combining mathematical calculations with user input.
Three different types of class in the table board. The first class is called main. The second class is created by saying new consola and it's called constructora. Here we have different type of information, just like input data, the output data, and the process. This is going to talk my friend is going to explain you what do we use in this class. And the last one, but the most important is going to be the console Java class. This is the most important class because it allows us to do the process to read and to print even easier than it should be. So let's hop into the action and the read input data. This read input data is for saying to the user to place some information. For example, here we're using double radius. We're going to explain this. Double is a type of variable, and this is simplifying it. Simplifying it is just like saying double is to say that this variable is a number. It's just easier like that. Double is to say this variable is a number. And we say that radius is equal to keyboard. Here I place keyboard, but you can use any type of what of word if you want to. And say layer double. Why do I put layer double? Because layer double, if you see here, it is layer double. Well, it is called layer double, and this allows to say, okay, user, put some information in put some information here, okay, that's the whole process and is going to be doing and all this. So now we'll continue with the assign to the option. Okay, assigning to the option, here we're saying to the user, okay, put some number, put some name, put something, but it doesn't keep the information. To keep the information, we need to say, okay, constructora that remember. Remember, this is really important. Constructora is this class. In this class are placed these variables. We don't have these variables, this or these variables. We don't have these variables over there. These variables are only in the into the constructora class. And now that we know that, we have to call constructora, and say, okay, constructora and this variable. This variable is equal to radius in this case. And we're going to do the same with the following ones. So now that we we keep the information, we place it this information that the user give to us right there. We place it this information into the variables. We need to call the process. To call the process, we place constructora point processar. That is over there. Is this process? My friend is going to explain this process, so just don't worry about it. And it's going to be all. The only thing we need um, uh, to at the end is to print the results. To print the results, we say, okay, keyboard, remember, keyboard can be any word, print or imprimir, wall area, plus constructora area. This is the, remember, this is the class, this is the variable. Okay, this is the variable. And this is going to be it. If we run the program, okay, sorry, over there, it's going to enter the radius circular of the wall, let's say 5. Enter the price per square meter, let's say 10. And the number of workers, let's say 7. And the total hours of the project is going to be 17. And it's going to give us the wall area, the total painting cost, and the hour per worker. And it's going to be it. Thank you for listening to the video.